Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro convicted of plotting coup. In a landmark legal decision, Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro has been convicted of plotting a coup and subsequently sentenced to over 27 years in prison. This ruling marks a significant moment in Brazilian politics, holding a former head of state accountable for actions aimed at undermining democratic processes. The conviction follows extensive investigations into allegations that Bolsonaro attempted to subvert the results of the presidential election. This verdict sends a strong message about the rule of law and the protection of democratic institutions in Brazil, potentially setting a precedent for future political accountability in the region and beyond. Netanyahu reaffirms no Palestinian state as international pressure mounts. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has once again declared that there will be no Palestinian state, even as several countries continue to push for its recognition. This firm stance reiterates Israel's long-standing position on the matter, creating further diplomatic tension in the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The international community's efforts to establish a two-state solution face significant hurdles, with Netanyahu's unwavering opposition, highlighting the deep-seated disagreements and complex political landscape of the Middle East. His statements come at a time of heightened international focus on the region, with many nations advocating for a peaceful resolution that includes a sovereign Palestinian state. NATO Article 4 triggered after Russian drones downed in Poland. Following the downing of Russian drones over Polish airspace, NATO has triggered Article 4 of its founding treaty, indicating that a member state feels its territorial integrity, political independence, or security is threatened. This move signals a significant escalation in tensions between Russia and NATO, prompting urgent consultations among member states to assess the situation and coordinate a response. While Article 4 does not automatically commit members to military action, it paves the way for collective discussion and potential defensive measures. The incident has intensified concerns about regional stability and the broader security implications for Europe amidst the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Sudden deluge floods Tokyo streets, halting air and rail traffic. Tokyo experienced severe disruption as a sudden and heavy deluge of rain led to widespread flooding, halting air and rail traffic. The unprecedented downpour overwhelmed drainage systems, highlighting the increasing vulnerability of urban infrastructure to extreme weather patterns, which are often linked to broader climate change trends. Manhunt continues for Charlie Kirk's killer amidst calls for non-violence. The FBI has released additional images of a person of interest as the manhunt intensifies, with new clues emerging about a rifle and ammunition recovered from the scene. The political community is mourning Kirk's death, and various leaders have expressed their condolences while condemning the act of violence. This tragic event underscores growing concerns about political polarization and the potential for real-world consequences, leading many to reflect on the current state of discourse in America. The assassination has been described as a national tragedy in a polarized America, with graphic videos of the incident reigniting debates over social media moderation and the spread of violent content. Former President Trump has indicated he will attend Kirk's funeral, stating it is an obligation he feels he must fulfill. 9/11's anniversary marked by somber ceremonies and emerging unseen images. Americans across the country today commemorated the 24th anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks with emotional ceremonies and heartfelt tributes to those lost. This year, a media preservation group has brought to light previously unseen images from that fateful day, offering new perspectives on the tragedy and the immediate aftermath. These newly published photographs provide a poignant reminder of the event's profound impact and the ongoing efforts to document and preserve its history. The emergence of these images serves to further deepen the national remembrance, ensuring that the collective memory of 9/11 remains vivid and honored for future generations. Former President Trump was also seen attending a Yankees game, where he was met with a mix of boos and cheers, reflecting the ongoing political divisions even during solemn observances.
Potential threats prompt lockdowns at several historically black universities. At least 6 historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, across the southern United States were placed on alert and initiated lockdowns today following reports of potential threats. This chilling reminder has raised concerns about the safety and security of these institutions and their students. While details surrounding the nature of the threats remain under investigation, the incidents have prompted heightened vigilance and discussions about campus security protocols. This unsettling development highlights the ongoing challenges faced by educational institutions in safeguarding their communities against potential acts of violence and underscores the need for robust security measures and swift responses to emergent threats. The situation is a serious concern for students, faculty, and parents within the HBCU community. U.S. sues Uber alleging disability discrimination. The U.S. government has filed a lawsuit against ride-sharing giant Uber, alleging widespread disability discrimination. The lawsuit claims that Uber's practices and policies have systematically denied equal access and service to individuals with disabilities, violating federal civil rights laws. This legal action could have significant implications for the ride-sharing industry, potentially leading to mandated changes in how companies accommodate passengers with disabilities. The suit underscores the ongoing efforts to ensure accessibility and equal treatment for all individuals in essential services, pushing for comprehensive reforms that address systemic barriers faced by disabled communities. Judge blocks Trump policy cutting social services for undocumented immigrants. A recent court ruling has temporarily blocked a Trump administration policy aimed at cutting off certain social services for undocumented immigrants. The decision highlights the contentious national debate on immigration policies and the welfare of immigrant communities, emphasizing the ongoing tension between federal directives and humanitarian concerns regarding access to essential services. Stocks hit record high as Wall Street embraces Fed rate cut hopes. U.S. stock markets soared to record highs today, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average crossing the 46,000 mark, as investors eagerly anticipate potential interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. A core reading of inflation data that aligned with Wall Street's expectations fueled optimism, suggesting that the Fed might soon ease its monetary policy. This surge reflects a buoyant market sentiment, driven by hopes for lower borrowing costs and continued economic growth. Analysts are closely watching for further indications from the Fed, as rate decisions have a profound impact on corporate earnings and investor confidence. The economic outlook appears to be influenced heavily by these expectations, despite rising inflation concerns elsewhere. Microsoft and OPenny reach non-binding deal for restructuring. Tech giants Microsoft and OPenny have announced a non-binding agreement that would allow OPenny to undergo a significant restructuring. While specific details of the restructuring plan were not immediately disclosed, the deal suggests a potential shift in the operational and governance framework of OPenny. This development comes amidst intense interest in artificial intelligence and the future direction of leading AI research companies. The collaboration between Microsoft, a major investor in OPenny, and the AI firm highlights the evolving landscape of the tech industry and the strategic moves companies are making to position themselves in the rapidly advancing field of artificial intelligence. Inflation continues to rise in August as Trump's tariffs intensify. Economic data reveals that inflation continued its upward trend in August, partly due to the intensifying impact of President Trump's tariffs. Businesses are reportedly passing these higher costs on to consumers, leading to increased prices across various sectors. This sustained inflationary pressure, coupled with a weakening jobs outlook, presents a challenging economic landscape.